Hello and welcome to Kemet Capital, the community of holders and seekers of African capital. I'm your host, JS, and as always, guys, before we start, we begin with our word of affirmation. Our guiding principle is the Cobb Douglas production function, guys. On our way to make Africa great again is through economic strength, economic power, and in order for us to achieve that, we need to produce more in a more efficient way. So today we're going to react to this video pertaining to video from CNBC Africa. It pertains to the payment system in general and the case of Nigeria in particular. So let's jump in the video and see what it's about.
Africa's next billion-dollar industries will not just be born from better ideas, but from the removal of systemic barriers like payment fragmentation that have kept entrepreneurs artificially small and disconnected. Well, that's the stance of the Chief Executive Officer and founder of CEBIT, Omoni Kolade. He notes the success of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Card will depend not just on technology, but on execution, education, and deep collaboration across the financial ecosystem here on the continent. He joins me now on the road ahead to achieving smart interoperability. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today, Omani. Let's start off the conversation.
All right, guys, before we start, so COBIT is an African payment infrastructure and embedded fintech provider. Nigeria. The company was funded in 2020 by the gentleman you see there on the screen, Omoniyi Kolade. The platform enables businesses to collect, manage, and embed payments across Africa through secure and scalable technology. So the company aims is to democratize digital payments across Africa by reducing the friction and cost implementing payment infrastructure. This product caters to a range of enterprises from startups to banks by offering both plug and play, getaway access, and full white label fintech solutions to drive monetization and user retention. The company focuses on expanding digital payment adoption in a region where only 5 to 7% of transactions are electronic, and that helps businesses capture this untapped potential. You know, guys, in Africa, most of the economy is still informal, with cash being the major or the main mean of exchange. A little bit of a mouthful. So yeah, we need to be able to improve that payment system, and we will see in a couple of minutes why a robust payment system is critical to the infrastructure, as we already talked in this community. The financial infrastructure of of a country, the payment system plays a huge role. So let's see what Omoniye has to say further.
Really now, with your own take around the use cases of the POPs card here. It's relevant at this moment, and who benefits from it? Does this really look at reducing economic inequality here, or the concentration of the benefits will largely be among bigger businesses and urban consumers first?
Um, Thank you very much for having me on the call today. Just you rightly said, right? I think there's so much relevance introducing this kind of innovations in the market. Let's consider the markets where we are, where we have over 50 something countries in Africa today. And if you look at this market, we're having different regulatory, different financial rules and policy across this market. It means that there's so much barriers. So you're looking at almost 50 something barriers. If you're looking at it from the market perspective for the country itself. So it means that there has to be a point where we start consolidating all these barriers and looking for a way or infrastructure to simplify them. One of the key drivers of every nation is the economic driver itself, which is trade, right? And we always say the lifeblood of commerce is actually payments. Now, how do we make sure that we remove the barriers behind commerce itself? And I think introducing a card, you understand, like this in the market, it's a building blocks towards addressing the opportunities and the potentials that is layered when it comes to African trade itself. If you look at, just like you mentioned, when it comes to inequalities, right? I feel that there's so much that needs to be done because this is just a step forward into the market. But I think there has to be a lot of consideration. There has to be a lot of interoperability. What do I mean by that? Looking at the African market as a whole, you see that you see so much dependencies, or let me say, you see so much different payment methods in different markets. You understand? You see a market like West Africans, like Nigerians, where you have a high intake when it comes to card payments and pay with bank transfer. And you look at a market in Ghana, Accra, or in Kenya, where you see a dominance of mobile money. I think introducing a card like this also we need to consider how much interoperability do we bring in play. And that means that how do we make sure nobody's differentiated along the value chain? And making sure that we see that the inclusion can only happen when you understand the entire players across the value chain as a whole.
Okay.
Interesting comment. So I kind of fell in love. Most of those companies that we discuss here are and they are geared towards improving the financial landscape on the continent. So Searbit provides payment gateway and checkout system, accept local cards, bank transfer, USSD, mobile money, bank account debit, and point of sale. So those are critical, for commerce and for economic development and drive. They also provide merchant portal and analytics. To this was introduced to provide to improve user interface with better analytics and dashboard tools tailored for merchant decision making. So those are great tools available to small businesses. And you have also the Searbit Alpha. It's an embedded fintech suite, a white label fintech platform that was launched in the mid 2023. It enables business in travel, hospitality, online marketplace, and finance to offer branded banking services such as account opening, remittance, credit, virtual accounts, and airtime bills. So those are services that are that are highly sought after on the continent. Searbit also provide partnership features, like Express Pay launched in May 2025 this year with SpectraNet to enable real-time virtual account-based subscription payments for internet users. You know, those are those are efficiencies uh, that we bring into the market to facilitate the commerce, to facilitate exchange, and to improve productivity. So, all in all, great company, great service offering, and I hope they expand to more countries on the continent because right now they're mostly active in Nigeria, Kenya, and Ghana. So hopefully, in the next couple of years, they'll be able to expand to other country in the region and why not dominate the entire continent?
Okay. Let's also paint an ideal picture here. We get everything right when we're looking at seamless cross-border trade and payment solutions at this moment now. What sort of new business models or industries do you think this would also help to come on a birth, so to speak? And when we're looking at competition, how is also Searbet looking at this Pan-African payment settlement card at this moment? Is this a risk to fragmentation like we've earlier discussed? And when we're also looking at further catalysts for innovation, how do we achieve the right nexus? What are some of the use cases Searbet is looking to tap into?
Okay. If you look at it from the one strong point first, right, which is the whole idea of how do we scale, right, and how do we empower the commerce in Africa. And the basic or the fundamental element or foundation of skill is actually being able to digitalize your business because it gives you
Mm,
access to more customers, right, and gives you access to widen your coverage. Now, how do we allow digitalization to happen when we don't have that handshake, you understand, that makes it seamless between countries? And if you look at each countries are always known by their unique strengths, you understand, either in form of minerals, in form of all kind of cultural, what do
mm,
you call it,
mm, mm,
producing that they have as a nation, right? It means that how do businesses will start actually digitalizing their businesses, and perhaps with this kind of introduction of this card, right, it means that we're removing the friction, right, that gives access for people to be able to actually do what they call payments. And if you look at a card like this, right, one of the key sources for a card like this is us looking at what they call acceptance, right? And one of the biggest challenges in payment also is acceptance. Do I want to pay across a cross-border opportunity, right? Will my payment solution be accepted? Introducing a PAPS actually gives us those leverage, just to achieve that. We're going to see a lot of export experts, you understand, that's going to start happening because it's going to give more access for people to uniquely feel that they can easily get paid, you understand, for their services.
Okay.
I see so much opportunity when it comes to aviation, right? I see a lot of online travel agents where they tend to actually be able to maybe allow them to be able to buy airline tickets, right?
Okay.
And today, we all have to leverage on
Hmm.
what they call virtual card, which
Okay.
is
It's like the journalist is the time is running up. The journalist is trying to cut him off. So I'm gonna do the same, right? So I wanted to talk to you guys about the importance of a payment system. So a solid payment system at that is crucial for economic activity because it provides the infrastructure that enables the robust, a smooth, secure, and let's say efficient exchange of value between individuals, businesses, and governments. So here is why it matters. Because first of all, the payment system will promote financial inclusion. A robust payment system allows unbanked and underbanked population to participate in the economy via mobile money, digital wallets, or agent networks. So let's say you do small subsistence agriculture. You go to the market to sell your wares, your goods. With the payment system, you'll have to be integrated into the financial system because if you have a payment money a mobile money system, for example, you need to have an account, some type of account. Either it's a mobile account or a bank account. So from that standpoint already, you're already included into the system. We know who you are, we kind of know what type of transaction you do, and it's easier for policymaker. Another feature of the payment system, or another advantage of a robust payment system, is that it facilitates trade and commerce. That comes, without saying, by enabling transactions between buyers and sellers, both domestically and internationally. And we heard the CEO here talking about cross-border transaction. So with a payment system that is accepted in multiple countries where regulation has been harmonized, it becomes easier to do business across the continent, which is the ultimate goal, right, guys? The ultimate goal is to have the African continent as a single market, and for that we need a payment system that enables businesses and individuals to transact cross-border. Another element of a robust payment system and secure one is that it supports economic growth. An efficient payment system reduces the cost of doing business, improving productivity, encourages investment and innovation because you know you're going to get paid, you know the payment is going to be fast, particularly in fintech and digital finance, which the payment system there is paramount. It's the fulcrum of the whole industry. It also enhances tax collection and transparency because now the government has a view or the type of transaction that are going on in the country or in the market, and they're able to put policies in place geared towards those that economic activity. Another element advantage of the robust payment system is that it enables monetary policy implementation, as I mentioned previously on the supporting economic growth. The central banks can rely on the payment system for interest rate transmission and open market operations. In the money market, you need a robust payment system because those are daily transactions that are critical for bank solvability and regulatory uh, items that they have to abide by, on a daily basis. And furthermore, it helps maintain price stability by enabling timely liquidity management. The liquid market is an efficient market, and when the payment is robust, secure, and efficient, it will just entail a price stability. It goes without saying. Another element is that it builds trust and reduces risk. Solid systems minimizes fraud, errors, and systemic risk. So that will encourage foreign investors, even local investors, to have more confidence into the market, more confidence into the economic activity, and why not improve and you know bolster the whole sector and the whole industry. And finally, we already mentioned that it facilitates cross-border integration. The smooth cross-border payments support trades, remittance, and foreign investments. So, guys, it's essential for us um, that that system, that infrastructure is looked into, and it's improve, and that to it's essential for the participation in regional and global value chains. And in our way to make Africa great again, we need to be able to, transact in an efficient way to improve liquidity, reduce risk, and all the elements that we just mentioned.
Also a card that actually allows you to leverage on
Okay.
FX. You understand?
Okay.
And these are all big barriers.
Definitely. Opportunities within the aviation sector, that's also one of the key watch lists. We'll have to leave the conversation here for now, Omani. Thank you so much for your time. That was the Chief Executive Officer and founder of Sirbet, Omani Kolade.
All right, I'm on a good conversation really for your enterprise. It's a great tool, great infrastructure, cornerstone for the African, financial landscape. So we are wishing you guys all the best, and for members of this community, I'll see you in the next one. Be safe out there. Bye.